Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Trenton's Tech. And today I just want to have like a calm conversation about the iPhone 15, my reaction to everything and what I'm thinking about it, and all of the talk that's around the iPhone 15. Now, let's talk about the first thing that seems to be a point of contention for everybody else. 60 hertz versus 120 hertz. In my opinion, personally, would I like to see 120 hertz on the base model iPhone? Sure. Does it kill me that 120 hertz is not on the base model iPhone? No. Now, you can say, hey, I don't agree with the price, depending on what's in there or what's not, but just the feature itself, 60 hertz versus 120 hertz, it really doesn't do that much for me anymore. Back in the day, a couple years ago, I'd be screaming from the high heavens, 120 hertz, 120 hertz, 120 hertz. But honestly, as I go back and forth between devices that have 120 hertz and 60 hertz, I notice it, but not to a degree to where I feel like I'm being cheated or offended or anything like that. Like all of these very, grandioso displays of, oh my God, it's only 60 hertz. It's just like, nah, 60 hertz is pretty decent for what it is. And to be honest, I'm recording this on my Z Fold 5 right now, and I turned the 120 hertz off for 60 hertz just so I could have better battery. And I know some people are going to say, well, we should educate people on this, that, and whatnot. I'm going to tell you right now, I work in tech. I talk to regular people every single day, regular users who either don't know about tech and don't care about tech. And most of the conversations around 60 hertz is pretty much people just don't care. And business-wise, right? If it doesn't make sense business-wise, Apple's not going to do it. No matter how much we shame them, no matter how much we do stuff, business-wise, unless the sales starts falling or there's something Apple can do to kind of, get more sales and push things along, that's literally just the way that they operate. We've been singing the same old song and dance with Apple and features for the longest time, yet we act surprised every single year. How dare they? You're like, I don't understand it, but I mean, we can agree to disagree. Some people agree with me, some people disagree with me, but there's that. But let's talk about what happens if they add 90 hertz or even if they add 120 hertz. I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen. They would add these features, and one of two things that happen. Either the same people who complained about it not being there before, won't care. They'll make jokes about it. They'll say, oh, well, we've had this feature on Android for years. Look, I use Android and I use iPhone. This is stuff I see. But that's what happened. People will sit there and make fun of the fact that now that the feature is on the phone, they will make fun of it. They will drag it. They will talk about it all day, this and that. Nobody will come out and actually be appreciative of it. So why do something if people aren't going to appreciate it anyway? A good example is USB-C. We finally got USB-C on the iPhone 15. Everybody's making jokes about it. Everybody's talking about how Android already had it, this, that, or whatever. So it's really not going to be, pleasing anybody. And then the second part to it, this is the part I forgot to follow up with, is that no one's going to care after a year. We've had 120 hertz on the iPhone. I think it started on the 12. Was it the 12? At least the 12 Pros, Pro Max, Pro, 13 Pro and Pro Max, 14 Pro and Pro Max, 15 Pro and Pro Max, 120 hertz. No one talks about 120 hertz on that iPhone anymore. Nobody. No, it's literally, we're at a point to where people will complain about stuff. Complain. I want 120 hertz. I want USB-C. I want the new screen. I want this. I want this. I want that. And then Apple finally puts it on the phone, and then everybody turns around and do an about face, and they're like, well, it doesn't matter. Nobody cares. Android already had it. So, I mean, pick a side at this point. Like, either you're going to complain and then you get it and then you just stop complaining, or you're just going to complain no matter, what they do. I don't exactly agree with every single thing that Apple does, but it's really kind of weird just seeing this over and over. And the main people who are complaining are the same ones who are going to have it 2 weeks from now. Oh my God, this phone is great. Oh my God, this phone is amazing. Oh my God, I was so wrong about this and that. And it's just like, I don't get it. People just find ways to be upset. But going back to the rest of the iPhone 15 and the lineup or whatnot, I'm glad that it has USB-C. I know there was some concern about the Lightning port going away, but to me, USB-C, convenience-wise, is a better port to have. Now, I will say that I don't agree with the iPhone 15 not having the faster transfer speeds, because I think that still could be useful to some people, but we can have an argument about that. I'm just glad that it's available on the Pro models, because every year we talk about what's the difference between the Pro model and the regular model. Well, there's a difference. The fact that they said that you could, USB 3 transfer speeds, you could record 4K 60 ProRes out to an external drive and have log features on there. That's cool. That's a separation between the two. It's, giving more love to the Pro models, which I'm all for. Just like, we were looking at the S23 series and you were saying, okay, what's the difference between the S23 and S23 Ultra? So definitely glad that Apple put out some, different options. Colors, every single year we, get together and we complain about colors. Either the colors are too dark or they're too light, or they don't have the color that you want, or the color that they do have isn't the right shade or right tone. So the fact that we're at the point to where all we ever do is complain about colors the most shows how far technology's come. Like, there's not like really too many glaring issues out there or whatnot. Should you upgrade from the 14 to the 15? That depends on you. That depends on your wallet. But the major thing that you're going to upgrade for is the dynamic island, having USB-C, colors, I guess, or if you get like a really good deal on it. Otherwise, for most people, it's not going to make that much amount of sense. If you want a little bit better camera, you're going from the 12 megapixel camera that was on the base of 15 and 15 Max to a 48 megapixel sensor, I believe it is, and then starts at like 24 and goes to 48 or something like that. But Apple's been on incremental upgrades for a while. Everybody's been on incremental upgrades. Google's been on incremental upgrades. Apple's been on incremental upgrades. Samsung's been on incremental upgrades. So you don't have to worry about it. I think it's okay if you're coming from like a 13 or older, but if you want to hold on to your 13 for another year just to get a cheaper 15 later on down the line, you can do that as well. But yeah, if you're coming from 11, 12, even if you're coming from the iPhone 10, which just recently stopped getting, the major feature updates, it's a decent upgrade, and they haven't increased the price on their lineup. We've been hearing every single year, and there's been this fear every single year that the price of the iPhone is going to go up. The price of the iPhone is going to go up. It's been staying the same price for the past couple of years. And while it's been the same price and they haven't increased it, they've given you more features. That's pretty much a fact. Are they the features that you want? That's up to you. That's a personal decision, but I can't exactly, fault Apple for that. And then as far as the Pro models are concerned, I'm basically going to probably end up getting one due to the fact that there's like really good trade-in deals. So similar to how like I did like a really good trade-in deal to get the Z Fold 5. I will take advantage of the trade-in deal to get the iPhone, especially with trade-in deals where you're getting up to $1,000 off, and the base model iPhone 15 Pro Max with my discount, it's basically about, I'm sorry, military discount. It's basically like a $100 upgrade for me. So I don't mind that at all. Want to try out the new features. It does have a periscope camera on there. One of the pushbacks, once again, is, well, Samsung already had a periscope camera. Well, Google already had a periscope camera. I don't understand why people complain about getting features on a device that they've never had before. They complain that other manufacturers have had it previously. That doesn't make sense. Like, if you're somebody that didn't have something before, but someone else had it, you don't care if someone else already had it. You're just happy that you finally got it, you know? And that goes to the same thing with this periscope camera, with USB-C, and all this other stuff that people just want to be just upset about. Like, imagine this, right? Imagine you were supposed to get a paycheck, right? You were supposed to get a paycheck. Other people in your industry got a paycheck, or other people got money, and, you know, you were waiting on that same money too, right? When you finally got that money, are you still going to go back to the same place that you finally got the money from and be like, man, I really don't want this money. I only want this money if you want to give it to me? No, you're just going to take the money and be happy. But that's the same thing that's going on with like the USB-C. Is like, oh, well, you know, Apple was forced to put USB-C on the iPhone. So what? You got USB-C. You got the periscope camera. I don't get it. Like, people are still upset after they get the things that they've been complaining about the longest and the most, you know? I still remember last year when the 14 came out, and the 14 had a notch on it on the regular models, and then the new models had the dynamic island, and there were people running around talking about, oh, why couldn't you put dynamic island on the regular models? At least give us dynamic island. Why give us another notch? This doesn't make sense. This is too much money. This is this and this. They come out with the 15 this year, the dynamic islands on it. Oh, well, you know, nobody cares about the dynamic island. So you guys see how it kind of goes? Like, with this whole iPhone 15 thing, it's just, in iPhones in general, and the same thing with Samsung, because this happens too. People will want these features, and then the companies will give people the features. But when people finally get them, it's just like, oh, well, no one cares. Like, whatever. So I'm honestly to a point to where if companies don't want to give us stuff, it's because, you know, the loudest voices in the room, they ruined it. Instead of saying, hey, thank you for finally giving us some stuff, you still want to complain about something. It's one thing if you complain, and then you finally get it changed. It's another thing to keep complaining after you've received the change. So that's the part that's kind of hilarious. But overall, I'm cool with the iPhone 15 and what it's bringing. If anything, if anybody wants to be, I guess, like, upset about Apple not really doing anything, or Apple really not updating that much, y'all need to direct all of that attention towards the Apple Watch Ultra 2. I got the original Apple Watch Ultra. Literally, the Apple Watch Ultra 2 is a new chip, more nits, and Siri, like, on device or whatever, or I think another watch face. That's it. Yeah, it's the same price, but there's not much that you can really say about that new watch at all. At least there's, like, you know, more changes in the iPhone than the watch. But if people really want to be mad, be mad at that watch. But yeah, I just had to make a video just talking about it, because I don't understand it, you know. And this is going to be going into a side rant as we're going on with this, but tech in general is just, the loudest people in the room don't even enjoy tech anymore. Like, they're not even excited about it. Like, you'll see tweets and you'll see like, hey, you know, things I'm excited for or whatever, but when it finally comes out, they're not excited. I can go back through every single product launch of this entire year and find where people are complaining about the smallest of things. You know, the S23 Ultra came out and people were complaining about that. Wasn't enough of an upgrade, didn't have this, but never really talked about the good stuff about it until 2 or 3 weeks later after they had the device. Then they start up this whole thing about, oh, I was wrong about this, that, or whatever. Then you look at, you know, like the Pixel A series. This year we got the Pixel 7a. Last year everybody was all mad that the 7a only has 60 hertz. Then Pixel goes out, they put 90 hertz, or Google puts 90 hertz on the 7a. Nobody cares about it. People are taking it, throwing it in the garbage bin. It's whatever. It costs too much now. This, that, or whatever. That got dragged. Pixel Fold. Last year, everybody wanted the Pixel Fold to come out. It didn't come out. It was delayed. It finally came out. I personally picked one up, didn't agree with the price, but then everybody was like losing their shit over the Pixel Fold. Like, how dare Google come out with this phone when you got the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 5 coming out? Do you think people talk good about the Samsung Z Fold 5? No, they complained about that too. They complained about it being an iterative update. They complained about it not doing much. They pretty much complained about it left, right, up, and down. Let's talk about tablets. You know, OnePlus tablet. You know, oh man, OnePlus tablet's coming out. There's going to be competition. That tablet came out. People talked about it for 5 seconds, started complaining, and then it completely disappeared, and now no one talks about it anymore. Pixel tablet, once again, everybody last year, oh yay, the Pixel tablet's coming. Pixel tablet shows up, oh well, it's this and it's that, and it's boring, and it's this and it's that. And I can find examples of every single product where big name tech publications and tech YouTubers and this and that and yada whatever, we're excited for it, the renders, blah blah blah, whatever. Product comes out, oh man, that's all you're gonna give us? That's all we're gonna get? Oh my God, tech is so boring. And the funny thing about it is, tech is so boring, but it must be really exciting if people are still getting paid the amounts of money that they're getting to still cover tech and to still be on top of it. But oh no, the poor victimized customers or whatnot. And the funny thing is, maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm telling on other creators, or maybe I might ostracize myself for saying this, but when you go talk to like actual customers, I'm talking like people who buy this stuff and they keep it. They're not buying a phone to review it. I'm talking about real customers. They do not care about all the stuff that we get up and whine and complain about. Most of the time, if they go buy a device and they're happy about it, they enjoy it. They love it. It's only the tech community that gets up in arms about like the smallest stuff. And half the time, the people who are talking the most crap aren't even buying it. They're not even using it every day. You know, I'll run into people who are using this stuff every single day and they won't have these problems. They're happy with their purchase. They're good. Guess what regular people do if they don't like a product? They either return it or they sell it, or they hold on to it long enough to where they can trade it in and upgrade and get something that will make them happy. They don't sit there and consistently, you know, just find ways to be mad about stuff all the time. But that's literally what tech is today. We care more about finding stuff to complain about than finding the stuff that's cool, or finding the stuff that works, or finding the stuff that actually would be beneficial to anybody else. You know, always got to call something boring, Always got to find the feature that breaks or doesn't work, and then you got to make this whole big deal about it or whatever. So going back around to the iPhone 15, like I said, I think the iPhone 15 is cool. Whether you get the 15, the Max, or the iPhone Pro or Pro Max, I'm cool with it. Don't have any issues with it. I'm not going to sit here and be upset when Apple finally gave us stuff that we were asking for. I don't care how we got it. I don't care if the EU told Apple to do it. I don't care if Tim Cook's husband put him in a chokehold and said, you're going to do this. I don't care. We got it. Just be happy at the fact that we got it, okay? And I'll say this, okay? Look, Apple customers are not Android customers, okay? Stop doing these dumb comparisons between the two. Well, Android's had this and Android. No one cares. Nobody cares. People are just happy if they finally get something, or they just learn to live without it, you know? Same argument goes where Apple has had stuff for years, and then Android finally got it, and then people on Android are happy. So either way, just going to leave it there. Those are my thoughts. Y'all take it how you feel, and I'll see y'all in the next video. All right, y'all. Peace.